So something that is really important when we are taking away from 1,000 is us understanding all of the numbers that come before this number. Here I've got a number line which is counting up in hundreds. You can see we start at 0 and it counts up 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. Can you spot a pattern with this and any other number line that you've used before? Yeah, it's very similar to our regular number lines which count up in ones. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. All we've done is added 2 placeholders after our numbers and now we're counting in hundreds. Now if we zoom into this number line a little bit more, we can also find all of the numbers in between. If we look here, I've zoomed in and now we can see the numbers in between 0, 100, 200, 300, 400 and 500. What is the number that you can find in the middle of all of these numbers? 50, fantastic. So it's important to know that in between 0 and 100 is 50. And now we can count those numbers too. 0, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, 450, 500. You can zoom into this number line even further to find the smaller numbers in between 0 and 50, and so on. You could find the numbers that go up, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and carry on all the way until you get to 50. This kind of understanding of place value and number placement and where the numbers are in a number line is so important to be able to tackle addition and subtraction problems with large numbers. So make sure that you practice understanding where these numbers are on a number line before you start adding and subtracting bigger numbers like this. Okay, let's begin. So as you can see, I have my number line ready in front of me. You can use the one on the screen to help you, or if it makes things easier, you can copy this down on a piece of paper. We're starting off with the question, 1,000 take away 371. Now at first glance this can look quite tricky and a lot of people might freeze, but what I want you to remind you of is your place value knowledge. Place value simply means what do these numbers actually mean? Okay, so I'm going to take your attention down here where I have a place value chart. This stands for thousands, this stands for hundreds, tens and ones. And what I've done with the number 371 is I have partitioned it up. So I can see that digit 3 is actually worth the number 300. I can see the digit 7 is worth 70, and I can see the 1 digit is worth 1. It's really important that you know this place value knowledge before you start trying to subtract anything away from 1,000. Let's begin by taking away this 300 from 1,000, which is nice and easy because they are all marked in front of us. Start on 1,000 and we're going to slowly count backwards until we have taken away 300 and see what number we land on. 100, 200, 300. You can see here that I've landed on the number 700. Okay, I'm going to take a pen and I'm going to mark this so that I remember. I can tick this off. I've taken away 300. We're now going to take away 70. This is where that important information inside comes to play. I can't see the numbers in between, but I know what numbers come between 600 and 700. We've got all of those tens in the middle. So I'm going to start by taking away that 70. 700, take away 10, is going to be 690. Take away another 10, 680. Carry on taking away tens until you land on the number. So 700, take away 70, you're going to end up with a number about here. and it's going to be the number 630. I can tick this off. Now that I've got to 630, the last thing I need to do is take away this 1. A lot of people find this tricky when you look at a large number, simply taking away one digit. If it makes it easier, pretend the 6 isn't there and just do 30 take away 1. We know the number is going to be 29. So my final answer is going to be 629. You can check this answer on a calculator to make sure that your calculations have been done correct, or you could ask a parent to see if they could check it for you. Okay, we're going to finally look at one more question. This is a mystery number question. If you want a little bit of guidance on how to work out mystery numbers, check out my last video, which you can find in the description below. Here we have the question. 300 take away something equals 190. Now a question like this again can get people to freeze because we're not used to seeing a question mark in the middle of the number sentence like this. But we're going to take our knowledge from the video the other day. Rather than starting at 300 and trying to count backwards, let's start at 190 and count forwards. But first I've got to find 190 on my number line. That is when the knowledge comes into play of all of the different tens that you can find in between these hundreds. So I know that in between 0 and 100, I can count up in tens. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And I can use that exact same number pattern in between all of these hundreds. 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180, and finally 190. So I could find 190 right before the number 200 on this number line, and that's where I'm going to start. What do I have to add to 190 to get to 200? You might have this number fact in your head already. If you're not too sure, that's okay, just count forwards. 190, 191, 192, 193, 194, 195, 196, 197, 198, 199, 200. Did you count with me? All I need to do is add 10. Once I've added that 10, I'm going to remember that, I've now got to have a look at the difference between 200 and 300. I can see clearly, to get to 300, all I've got to do is add 100, because that is the length of the gap there. Now, as you can see here, I have these two numbers, 100 and 10. All I've got to do is add them together to find my mystery number. Can you work out what 100 plus 10 is? Pause the video now and try these problems that you can see on the screen.